During escalating tensions that pushed the Taiwan Strait toward conflict and cast uncertainty over the region's stability, April 3rd, 2025 became a pivotal date in international security history. During the pre-dawn hours of that critical morning, Beijing's military forces launched their opening assault, breaking months of tense standoff and propelling the area into unprecedented geopolitical turbulence. Central to this momentous confrontation stood the USS Gerald R. Ford, representing America's premier carrier technology, equipped with advanced detection arrays, magnetic launch systems, and aviation units designed for Pacific power projection. The vessel's positioning was strategically calculated as Beijing's weaponry traversed contested maritime zones. The presence of this naval battle group emphasized America's steadfast dedication to maintaining navigational freedoms and preventing hostile actions. The Ford's massive structure and roaring aircraft operations conveyed an unambiguous declaration: any effort to alter territorial boundaries through violence would encounter America's complete military response. During this critical standoff, the carrier represented more than naval hardware. It embodied strategic deterrence, partnership unity, and a stark warning that international law requires constant protection. No nation could afford strategic miscalculation. The catalyst for Beijing's aggressive action emerged from the dim early morning waters near Fujian's coastline. At 6:45, shore-based surveillance detected an unusual formation of American vessels approaching the established demarcation zone, their outlines obscured by range yet clearly identifiable. Within moments, intelligence personnel debated whether the danger originated from concealed sensors on sophisticated destroyers or clusters of robotic reconnaissance craft testing Beijing's defensive perimeter. Anxiety increased within the operations center as military analysts examined live electronic data and visual verification. 7 minutes afterward, at 6:52, Beijing's leadership authorized a bold combat directive: fire barrages of HQ-9B ground-to-air weapons, deploy J-16 and J-11 combat interceptors, and engage naval close defense gun systems for terminal protection. This comprehensive response demonstrated a calculated risk, combining extended-range accurate firepower with mobile aerial units and computerized terminal defense mechanisms. The coordinated implementation of radar-guided weapon barrages, hypersonic fighter missions, and rapid-fire cannon arrays highlighted Beijing's determination to enforce territorial control through military force. By choosing immediate action rather than waiting for additional provocations, Beijing intentionally intensified the confrontation, demonstrating to neighboring powers that any challenge to maritime sovereignty would face decisive military response. Beijing's unified air protection system constitutes a powerful barrier against potential attackers, constructed using numerous interconnected defensive rings designed to identify, monitor, and eliminate dangers from coastal areas extending inland throughout China. The foundation consists of HQ-9B surface-to-air weapon platforms capable of engaging enemies at distances reaching approximately 25 miles, utilizing sophisticated radar guidance systems that acquire hostile aircraft or cruise weapons with accuracy. Supporting these land-based installations are squadrons of J-16 and J-11 combat aircraft equipped with extended-range PL-15 air-to-air weapons, extending aerial combat zones beyond 120 miles, allowing China's Air Force to engage enemy aircraft before they can deploy standoff munitions. At closer ranges, Type 730 close-in weapon systems deliver intense defensive gunfire at rates reaching 4,200 rounds per minute to destroy incoming anti-ship weapons or fast attack craft in final defensive positions. These components collectively create a concentrated anti-access area denial network leveraging coastal sensors, airborne warning platforms, ground-based weapon batteries, and quick response fighter patrols within integrated command structures. Through connecting detection and engagement systems across maritime, aerial, and terrestrial domains, Beijing has developed a high-density protective shield designed to complicate enemy attack planning, reduce long-range precision weapon effectiveness, and discourage any intrusion into territories considered sovereign maritime approaches. Upon identifying the approaching danger, the USS Gerald R. Ford Carrier Battle Group immediately assumed maximum readiness. The carrier's cutting-edge SPY-6 active phased array radar commenced monitoring up to 1,000 aerial and naval contacts concurrently, providing instantaneous intelligence to the group's integrated weapon platforms. Directed by Aegis Baseline 10 systems on accompanying Arleigh Burke destroyers, the battle group's 96 Mark 41 vertical launch cells prepared to execute precisely timed defensive barrages. Leading the defensive weapon inventory was the SM-6 Interceptor, capable of Mach 3.5 speeds at distances reaching 230 miles, establishing the initial extended range interception layer. Covering intermediate distances, enhanced Sea Sparrow weapons delivered rapid medium-range protection, while rolling airframe missiles provided agile close-range defense against maneuvering targets. For threats penetrating outer defensive zones, Phalanx systems engaged incoming weapons or small vessels using 20mm rotary cannons. Integrated command centers synthesized sensor information and allocated engagements automatically, ensuring no target could overwhelm defensive capabilities. Within seconds, the Ford Battle Group transformed from deterrent presence to active shield, demonstrating the carrier's combined role as both offensive spearhead and protective guardian of American naval supremacy. During the subsequent air combat phase, F-35C Lightning II stealth aircraft assumed primary responsibility, establishing overlapping engagement zones that surrounded the carrier battle group with invisible threat corridors. Utilizing their reduced radar signatures and advanced sensor integration, these next-generation jets directed Allied weapons toward hostile aircraft before enemy pilots recognized they were under attack. Above, an E-2D Hawkeye surveillance aircraft maintained constant battlefield monitoring, its powerful radar sweeping vast areas to detect and track all approaching and departing aircraft. Once enemies were identified, AIM-120D AMRAAM missiles launched from both F-35Cs and escort fighters. These autonomous homing weapons with approximately 90-mile range pursued targets independently at high supersonic velocities. Coordination between Hawkeye battle management crews and F-35C distributed networks ensured each weapon received optimal targeting information, reducing engagement timeframes. Within minutes, numerous Chinese J-16 and J-11 fighters succumbed to this integrated strategy, their formations destroyed before mounting effective counterattacks. The outcome demonstrated decisive proof of American naval aviation's capacity to control disputed airspace and safeguard high-value assets through stealth, sensor integration, and precision beyond visual range engagement. EA-18G Growler electronic warfare aircraft equipped with AGM-88 HARM missiles led coordinated attacks against PLA naval radar defenses. Growler jamming equipment produced customized electronic signals disrupting Chinese radar systems across C, X, and S frequency bands, while HARM weapons homed on active transmitters to physically destroy critical sensor installations. Operators followed silent superiority doctrine using covert radio frequency management to blind enemy systems before detecting friendly forces. With engagement ranges exceeding 100 nautical miles, these methods suppressed Type 054A frigate surveillance radars well beyond visual contact. Type 054A vessels dependent on Type 38-2 three-dimensional air search arrays and Type 730 close defense weapon systems struggled maintaining target acquisition amid continuous jamming and missile attacks. Growler teams employed advanced digital radio frequency memory decoys, generating false contacts, creating confusion within PLA command networks. Meanwhile, HARM's high-velocity flight characteristics enabled accurate strikes against superstructure-mounted radars, neutralizing them within seconds of activation. The American Carrier Battle Group integrated Link 16 data connections across carriers, destroyers, and growlers, multiplying targeting precision and accelerating engagement sequences. This networked architecture ensured real-time battlefield awareness and dynamic asset reassignment by alternating rapidly between between soft-kill electronic suppression and hard-kill missile engagements, America imposed an electromagnetic environment negating frigate-layered defenses. Ultimately, this combination of deception, destruction, and doctrine-driven methods exemplifies contemporary multi-domain combat and demonstrates American naval superiority in contested littoral regions with undeniable power. Once the carrier battle group's layered defenses neutralized incoming threats, the USS Gerald R. Ford's Combat Information Center rapidly transitioned from defensive positioning to offensive preparation. Within its operations room, analysts processed massive amounts of sensor intelligence and tactical information, creating comprehensive pictures of enemy positions and weaknesses. A senior strike committee, briefed in real time, recommended decisive Tomahawk missile volleys. The commanding officer subsequently issued launch authorizations specifying all fire control teams receive launch codes within 5 minutes. Simultaneously, guided missile destroyers and attack submarines supporting the battle group began pre-launch procedures, loading vertical launch systems and torpedo tubes while conducting final targeting updates. Link 16 networks synchronized across platforms, ensuring each Tomahawk would strike predetermined coordinates with surgical accuracy. Crew stations illuminated with green status indicators confirming complete combat readiness on short notice. This rapid transition emphasized the battle group's flexibility and the Navy's dependence on information-driven coordinated multi-domain warfare. After finalizing retaliation decisions, the carrier battle group launched coordinated Tomahawk counterstrikes, deploying up to 100 Block 4 cruise missiles at maximum speed, traveling approximately 550 mph and carrying 1,000-pound warheads. Each weapon was programmed to strike reinforced targets with surgical precision. Launch systems aboard Arleigh Burke destroyers fired synchronized volleys, while Virginia-class attack submarines launched complementary barrages from submerged positions, creating dual-axis assaults overwhelming enemy defenses. Above the engagement, FA-18E Super Hornets from the carrier's air wing executed precision bombing missions, releasing extended-range JDAM joint direct attack munitions from 30,000 feet to eliminate secondary objectives while minimizing collateral damage throughout operations. EA-18G Growler electronic warfare jets maintained comprehensive radio frequency suppression, severing enemy communication links and preventing coordinated countermeasures. Within minutes, refined targeting data directed missile impact points against high-value targets, including enemy command bunkers, fuel storage facilities, and air defense weapon sites. The combined effects of subsonic cruise strikes, high-altitude precision bombing, and continuous jamming ensured critical command nodes, radar installations, and logistics centers were neutralized rapidly. This precision strike package, supported by the carrier group's layered defense, demonstrated the American Navy's ability to transition seamlessly from force protection to decisive power projection across contested waters. Upon completing the counteroffensive, 15 critical installations, including multi-site radar facilities, underground munitions storage, and heavily reinforced bunkers, were completely destroyed. More than 40 JA-16 and J-11 combat aircraft were eliminated either on airfields or during interception, effectively removing the adversary's primary air defense capabilities. Economic evaluations estimate immediate costs exceeding $7 billion, reflecting not only destroyed equipment but also crippled maintenance and supply infrastructures. The coordinated strikes demolished the AT-AD umbrella, once extending from coastlines deep into the mainland, forcing the primary naval facility to relocate command operations nearly 200 kilometers inland and surrender control of strategic littoral corridors. Beyond material destruction, this operational disaster undermined enemy command confidence, degraded personnel morale, and reinforced American power projection credibility. Ultimately, the mission decisively altered maritime power balance, reaffirming naval supremacy and deterring future aggression. The destruction of Beijing's acclaimed AT-AD network shattered adversary confidence, eroding both international prestige and morale within the PLA. The decisive demonstration highlighted the effectiveness of multi-layered sensor-fused defenses and critical synergy between air operations and electronic warfare. It also provided stark deterrence. No actor can risk confronting an American carrier battle group without severe consequences. Knowledge gained here will influence global powers, confirming modern deterrence effectiveness and justifying continued investment in carrier strike capabilities. As tensions escalate, no nation can truly afford to underestimate American maritime dominance.